let's talk about a topic that is a little bit less fun, but very important to talk about, especially recently. So, in the past 40 or so years, there has been a ridiculous decline in the population of insects basically everywhere. And that is a major problem for many, many reasons. Now, if you're about to go into my comments and say, good, I hate insects, I'm glad that they're going extinct, leave. This video's not for you. Actually, no. This video probably is for you because hopefully it'll convince you that insects are very important and we need them. You don't have to like them, but we absolutely need them. So, from the study that I found, it was a meta-analysis. In the last 45 or whatever years, there has been a 45% decline in the population of insects just overall. It has gone down almost 50%. And that is absolutely fucking ridiculous. That is so high. That's not good. That is a massive problem. And, like, you can visibly see this too. So this is just a graph that I pulled from Wikipedia, but you can see this is from 1990 to 2015, so 25 years, and you can see there is a visible slope going downwards of the biomass of the insect. That's not good. And just like take a second, especially if you live in more urban areas like cities or suburbs and stuff. When was the last time you've seen an insect other than like the occasional black fly or fruit fly or maybe stink bug or something, especially in large cities, like other than like flies and roaches? If you live in a big city, when's the last time you've seen like a bee or a butterfly or even a weird insect that you're not entirely sure what it is but kind of freaks you out? When was the last time you've seen that? You might have to, like, think for a while. It might have been a while. And, like, I remember as a kid, I am not that old. I'm 21, but I remember as a kid driving with my parents and them having to clean the windshield so frequently just because it'd get covered in, like, bug splats. But now me as an adult driving the same roads and stuff, I barely ever have to clean my windshield unless there's, like, I'm driving through a cloud of those fucking river moths or, like, a really big bug hits the windshield. I rarely have to clean it. That's because there's just less bugs. There's less insects around. And that's a problem. 'Cause, like it or not, everything is pretty much dependent on insects. We need them for pretty much everything. They are one of the major sources of decomposition, so like flies and maggots and all of that, they clean up decomposing things like carcasses, sewage, all of that. With less bugs, there would be less decomposers, so rotting organic matter would start to pile up, breeding diseases. Pollinators. Everyone knows how important bees are. And we are absolutely dependent on pollinators for agriculture, for the environment, for, like, plants spreading, native species, all that. We are totally dependent on pollinators. And the pollinators are being hit especially hard. Pest control. Things like common agricultural pests are preyed upon by other insects, like ladybugs take care of aphids, which can have a big impact on crops. And just wider biodiversity. The basis, other than plants, the basis of most nutrition in the ecosystem comes from bugs. So many other things eat bugs, like bats and frogs and birds. So many different things eat insects. So with less insects, the less charismatic species have less food, so they start to go endangered. So, like it or not, doesn't even matter if you like insects, they're important to pretty much everything, and the fact that they're declining at such a rapid pace is very bad. Like, insects are actively going through an, extinction event, a bug apocalypse. And this is largely due to humans. Insects are very, very susceptible to pollution, be that like chemical pollution or light pollution as well. Light pollution is a big problem, I've talked about that before. Very susceptible to climate change. Lots of insects can't handle temperatures outside of a specific range. It's either too hot or too cold for them. And so with the climate getting rapidly warmer, some insects are spreading and decimating the ecosystem. Some are going extinct because they can't handle the climate change. Habitat loss is a massive one. Many species of insects, specifically native endemic ones that are only found in small regions, they can't deal with the increasing urbanization. So when their native habitat is bulldozed to make room for farmland or for cities, they have nowhere to go, so they just fucking die. Then there's excessive use of pesticides and herbicides and chemical fertilizer and everything that, like, again, since insects are very susceptible for environmental factors, then all those chemicals getting into them, they just fucking kills them. And, like, even pesticides that are meant to kill certain species, like agricultural pests, they have a big impact on other things, like local pollinators and local decomposers, and then that wrecks the ecosystem. So yeah, basically, this is a massive fucking problem that nobody outside of, like, environmental and scientific circles I've heard talk about it at all. And, like, it should be talked about more because this affects literally everything. Even if you, like, don't care about bugs, you don't think about bugs on a daily basis, it still affects you because it infects the environment, affects the economy, agriculture, all that. So yeah, if you want to help, just do some research on it. Educate yourself, educate your friends, see what you can do to help, get involved in, like, local conservation or ecology areas. If you are in the position to do so, consider replacing your lawn and, like, yard and stuff, or at least not necessarily replacing, but at least adding native species that can help, that live there, native species to your area. Just provide a good environment for, like, native bugs, native plants, all that. Increase the biodiversity of your lawn because it looks so much better and is way better for the environment. If you can, limit the use of industrial herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers, all that. See if you can go for more natural, like, more environmentally friendly options if you need to use those in the first place. Then other than that, just be environmentally conscious with the regular stuff like recycle, limit driving, like carpool, take public transportation, don't litter, all of that. But mainly just be aware that bugs are very important, we need them, they're essential, and just look out for bugs. Like, just don't hate them for no reason, because they're very important.